Star Wars and Adidas have been all over this channel in the last couple of months. We had the Darth Vader Superstars, great shoe celebrating 50 years of the Superstar. Some really neat features on the shoe, one or two that I wasn't a huge fan of, but some very cool stuff going on in other parts of that shoe. And then of course the crazy wild Chewbacca is also from the Adidas line. And then the one that really takes center stage when we're talking about today's shoe with the Mandalorian is the Boba Fett's, which is a very big tie-up between what was the OG set, looking back to the Star Wars original film and the Empire Strikes Back and then the Return of the Jedi, and then now we're looking at the most current stuff that's out there, soon to start season 2 of the Mandalorian. And then to celebrate that, what I'm thinking is 6 or 7 shoes from the Adidas line that look back to season 1. I don't think they look forward to season 2, I think they look back to season 1, but that's just my take. Might be wrong, but that's just the way I'm looking at these guys. And I had to choose one of those shoes to talk to you guys about. And the one that I went for is this right here, the Mandalorian. It really stands alone. All the other ones have these lime sort of green feel to them, almost like a light jade. But this one with a much more earth tones that matches the Mandalorian's uniform and kit himself. So that's the shoe that I've gone for. I'm going to take you through that today, and I'm going to point out that one feature that most people are missing that's actually super important in this shoe. So without further ado, let's take a look at the upcoming release of the Adidas NMD R1 Mandalorian. This is the Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi yapsuno no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day I bring you content from Tokyo, Japan about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And every single day we try and dodge my sleeping 3-year-old next door. It's 11:45 at night. I try and shoot these videos just before my own bedtime so that she's been down for her sleep as long as possible. But she sometimes interrupts us. Now, what just happened in the video was I did like the intro and then a sort of title screen and then into this part of the video, which is what I always do. A minute and a half, 2 minutes of intro, title screen, into the video. And usually I'll just leave a couple of seconds between the intro and then the other half of the video. But today, while that title card was coming, I ran to the room next door and put her back down because she woke up and I heard her calling for me, which doesn't bode well. It means we might be interrupted for the rest of this video. Usually when we're interrupted, I leave that stuff in, just fast forward the 5 minutes I'm next door trying to put her back to sleep into like 3 seconds. But I don't like to cut them out. I like to leave the real life in the video. So we'll see if that happens today, but hopefully not. You know, there she is, right there. She just popped up beside me, so I'm going to put her to bed and I'll be back in a minute. I totally don't remember how far I got with the video, but like I said, you know, I was expecting to get interrupted, and in the time that it took me to put her down, then Mrs. Butter is now finished getting ready for bed, so she's banging around next door. Who knows where this video is going to go, but I'm going to keep going through with it because I really love this shoe. I really love this shoe, and it gives me a chance to bring out one of my favourite shoes in my own collection, which is this NMD R1. And there's that particular feature that I mentioned earlier on in this video about that people are mostly overlooking. Now, if you know what I'm about to talk about, you're in the 1%. You're like top of the class if you picked up on this tiny little detail, because most people are focused in on the Star Wars details and the Mandalorian details and all that kind of stuff. But there's one particular detail that's actually from Adidas that most people, I think, are overlooking. So tell me in the comments down below if you know about this. Now, what I'm talking about is this right here. Here's the standard outsole on an NMD R1. And what you're talking about is that patterning on there. It's hexagonal, but that looks through to the white boost. Now, these are a special pair of NMD R1s called the Japan pack, and you can see the branding on the side there is written in Japanese, and that's actually a big part of the shoe today that we'll get into as well, because that's the thing on today's shoe that I deliberately didn't research, that I'm just sort of leaving for people to tell me in the comments down below, or to or to, you know, like guess what it actually is. I've got no idea how much noise is coming through into this video right now because I've never had to do this before. But you know, when your little 3-year-old wakes up in the middle of the night, all bets are off. So so the two things about this that I want to talk about is, one, I was really disappointed with this shoe because it was the price of a prime knit shoe, but it doesn't have the prime knit on the top here. It's kind of a standard upper, which really disappointed me because it's almost double the price of a standard NMD R1, even though it's standard NMD R1 materials, but it is triple black and it is that Japan branding on the side. So it's kind of like, yeah, I guess I have to go ahead and get these guys. But the detail that most people don't know about on these Mandalorians, like I said about the outsole, and now I'll bring it up for you to see, and hopefully you're able to compare the two. I have never seen a Boost outsole like this, where they've taken the time to colour the Boost underneath the outsole in black. Usually, like I say, like here, what you're looking at is the black outsole and then the white Boost underneath, because Boost in its natural habitat, in its purest form, is white, and they do sometimes colour it like they've done here on the side of these NMD R1s, but I've never seen them colour it on the outsole like this. It's the first time I've seen them do that. Now, they might have done it on other shoes and I've missed it, but either way, it's just not a common thing. And for me, it's actually a really big detail. It's unique to this shoe. Most of the other stuff on this shoe is standard NMD R1 branding or styling. There's a couple of unique hits that we'll get into right now, but that outsole there is unique and new and something special, so I think that's kind of very important. Okay, back up to the top of the shoe, looking at the upper there, browns and earth tones and things like that, and then back to the Mandalorian, you can see he's got that feel of earth tones about him, except for that metal armor that's going to come in to this video as well, to this shoe. So what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to point out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different places on this shoe that have very unique and very interesting branding, and we'll start at the front and we'll work our way back. So first things first, let's talk about that brick that I talked about in the front here. On this one, it's got it in Japanese. Usually it says the word Adidas and then the trefoil branding on there, but in the case of these guys, you can see it right here. It has that light blue, almost light what's the word, jade triangle on there. Now, I don't know what that stands for, and I deliberately didn't research it, because I'm guessing what it stands for is the child in the Mandalorian, because all the other shoes that are coming out in this pack have that kind of light green branding on them, or light green colorway, and I think they're to do with the child, whereas this, the Mandalorian, is more earth tones. But if you know what that triangle represents, if it's something other than the child, as I'm guessing, definitely let us all know in the comments down below. Not too far away from that is the quarter line on these triple blacks here, being a triple black, the quarter line that rolls around the sort of halfway point on the shoe is black on black on these guys, but what you're looking at here is silver on brown, and that silver is very important because it represents the armor, and the armor is apparently like lightsaber resistant armor, so that silver line across there is actually more important than the design and the standard of the shoe. Is to do with representing the Mandalorian's armor, and then right beside that you've got what they're saying is prime knit, but I'm not 100% sure. This isn't like prime knit I've ever seen before. Prime knit seems to be a lot tighter knit than this, but it might be a new generation prime knit, or it might be a kind of prime knit I've never seen before. I'm guessing it's not. I don't think that just doesn't feel like prime knit to me. Prime knit's more complicated than that, and this looks kind of more standard meshy material, nylons or something. So if you know for sure what the materials are, again, please let us know in the comments down below. And then running up from that past the quarter line through the lacing system to the top of the tongues, and you get I was going to say Boba Fett's helmet there. It would be Boba Fett's helmet, but Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. The Mandalorians are a race, and this is the Mandalorian helmet at the top of the tongue there. Very, very cool, and it reminds me of those OG shoes that I was talking about before, the superstars, the top tens, the rivalries, stuff like that, that had, you know, Chewbacca's face, Darth Vader's face, and what was it on the superstars, Boba Fett's face on the top of the tongue there, and you can see that repeated on here. Now, a feature that not many people know about, and it's not too hard to go to from the tongue, is if you look down on the insole. It's very hard to see, but hopefully I'll be able to show you on the green screen right here, that on the insole as well, you've got a little bit of Star Wars branding, but the shadowing makes it hard to see, but it's very cool, and it adds to the shoe. And then we get to the final part of the shoe. I said there were 6, right? And I said, have I done them all? Quarter line, tongue, prime knit, insole, and then the back of the shoe. There's a couple of things going on there. One is the black panel for the branding with brown on it, which fits the narrative of the rest of the shoe. But what is very, very cool is what they've done to this back tab here. This back tab is usually standard on NMD R1s and NMD R2s, and what it is I think I'm right in saying it's German, French, English, and Japanese. And I'm just checking it out because on the bottom you won't be able to see this probably, but it has the 3-stripe branding written in the 4 languages there, and that's what runs through here. So This was actually in English with the 3 stripes, and then I think it's German. Forget about that. But you can see on the tab at the back of these guys, they've got the armor sort of default design on there to represent again the sort of Mandalorian armor, and a bit different, something unique, and I love it. I think it's very cool that they've played around with that, and that adds to the shoe, and it just finishes off the shoe really nicely. To me, this is a great shoe. I really wanted to do this video tonight. I barreled through all that noise and interruptions and stuff like that because I think this is a great shoe. It's the best shoe of the pack. It's timely because they're coming out with the 2nd season, and it's really going to fit in with the sort of timing of the shoe, and it's just a beautiful shoe. I've always liked NMD R1s to look at. Personally, they don't wear well for me. I always have to go a full size smaller, so these guys here that I've dropped on the floor are a ½ centimeter smaller than I would normally wear, and even them, they feel a little bit big on foot, so they don't look good on my feet, even though they look good if you hold them and look at the silhouette itself. So love the NMD R1, but I've never been able to find a pair that fits me just right. So NMD R2s on the other hand are absolutely snug, but that's another story. Okay, time for me to sign off. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about with this shoe, and we'll just leave it there. Definitely let me know if you know about that blue triangle on the front brick, because I'd love to know more about that. For now though, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out this content and staying with me as I did all the things I had to do. Glad we didn't get interrupted again. For now though, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, and I'll remind you that I do this every single day, so you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.